Hi, I'm Mark from Property Ventures. Welcome to this week's New Zealand Property Podcast, where we interview the property expert around New Zealand. Hi, and welcome to the New Zealand Property Podcast video series, where today we're going to have a show with a slight difference and something I didn't think I'd do. But a few people have said to me, Mark, you need to tell a story about Property Ventures and a bit about maybe yourself, and let people know a bit of insight about what's going on with you and your company. Now, I'm not going to tell a story about me because I want to be, I don't think I've got a story successful enough to tell yet, and I will one day when I think that's warranted. But what I love about what I do is a Property Ventures story, and that's a bit about what I'm going to do today, and what that will lead on to do is something again that I didn't really want to do. They said you need to do a daily Facebook page and social media about yourself and what's going on there. I don't like that myself, so as many of you out there won't like it. But what I am going to do is probably 3 times a week do a wee snippet, maybe 40 seconds, a minute or whatever, a bit about, I guess, behind the scenes of Property Ventures, and also I've been around for a while and I've learned a lot of good lessons, so a bit about how I cope with everyday life also, and a few tips that'll help someone. Hey, it's been well worth it. About 4 or 5 years ago, someone told me that I should do something. I don't even have a clue what it was. It's turned out to be pretty successful, so hey, I'll take what they're saying and I will have a go at this. So this is just a wee intro, a little bit about that, and also more importantly, a start or a little intro about, we got up behind me, Property Ventures, a real estate agency with a difference. Yeah, geez, that sounds cliche and good and what have you, but I want to talk to you a bit about the difference. Now, some people think the difference of Property Ventures is, they're the investor people, they deal with investors, which we do, we used to be a buyer's agency and what have you. That's not the true story of why Property Ventures is different. So I'll tell you now, Property Ventures, in fact, forget about Property Ventures, a standard real estate company, one of the larger companies, there's a big franchise head, and then there's a whole lot of offices, and you have a head of the office. That's good, they run the office and manage all the people in there. Then in the office you have a whole lot of different agents all working. Now what that creates, unfortunately, is quite a bit of, we'll say, in-house fighting at times. And when I say in-house fighting, all I mean is everyone's hungry to get that listing, because if they get the listing over their peers, they get paid more money. Simple. And then what happens is they get so much if they list their property, and if someone else sells their property, they lose a part of the commission, and as we think, we share the commission. So that's just what happens. So some agents, and not many I hope, some will sit there and they will list a property. They'll even get a quiet listing and they won't even tell their peers about it, because they don't want it. They want to sell it because they get their 50-60% or whatever of the commission, and they don't want to share that 50-60% with their peers. Now, is that good for the vendor of the property? Hell no. You should be trying to get the most qualifiable people interested in their property, and by not telling all their peers about it, that's not going to happen, quite clearly. So I'm not bad-mouthing other agencies. They've got a hell of a lot more experience, as in being around a lot longer than us, but that's just what happens. Talk to any real estate agent in any company, that's what goes on, and I don't know how you would sort of stop that going on. So but in those companies you'll get, as I said, different agents work in those companies. Now you get some really good agents and they start building their own team. They might have a couple people that work with their buyers, or buyers agents I guess you call them, another maybe seller's agent, and they might have 1 or 2 admin staff. Now that's great, they all work in harmony and they've all got one common goal in place, working for that head person, and they all sell property, and they all get a wee bit of the pie of whatever that may be, on what their job warrants. And so that's what happens normally in a real estate agent, and those agents are good, but they still don't, some of them won't share with others, and others in the office won't share with them. Okay, so we come to what's behind me, a real estate agency with a difference, and this is where we are different. So the head of Property Ventures, so there's only one office, even though we're in 4 different parts of the country and Auckland, so 5 parts in total. we have one office and one head. Now that head's obviously me, and so what the head does is, as well as managing obviously all the people in there, they're out there just pushing, getting listings, advertising on behalf of everyone, and so our agents quite often, in fact a big percentage, it's getting smaller because they're out there getting their own listings now, come from the Property Ventures umbrella, I guess. We've created a really good, we've created a great big monster that gets a lot of listings and people coming to us, and they know we've got so many investor buyers. We used to be a buyer's agency only. That's what we used to do. So they know we've got that. So a lot of people will come to us now, whether they're investors or just are homeowners that's seen that we run things a wee bit differently, and they'll come to us. So I don't grab it all and hold it to myself or what have you. We share it around. Now, so what we've got is everyone in this. The other thing is we share everything. So we have an agent in the business. They can see all my leads or the people that I've spoken to before. We share everything with each other because that helps the agent. Now, if the agent goes and gets a listing, that's great. We'll help that person, because in our business, the more you help each other, the more the money goes around for everybody within the business and the Property Ventures umbrella. Now, that's a great situation to have, and I'm fortunate how I created that, and I'm fortunate that I have the buy-in from the whole, everyone in the company. Everyone's got that same philosophy. Not only are most of us pretty entrepreneurial and investors ourselves, we all have that sharing philosophy and realise the more you help someone in the business or a customer and share that information, the more that's going to help you and Property Ventures in the long run. So the agents are out here not having to advertise, maybe pushing themselves as hard as they would normally need to in another brand, even though I'd love them to do it a wee bit more, and some of them are now. But what we are doing is we're branding ourselves as one big team, and now we've got some real individuals starting to star within that brand. We've got things in Hamilton with Dan, we've got Slade in Christchurch, we've got Hamish and Jess in Auckland, all doing amazing stuff right now. They're just at the start, but they're really helping so many customers and clients right now. It's phenomenal. But again, they come here and we'll go, okay, you don't want Hamilton, you go to Auckland, and we'll we just share our clients because we know it's all going to come back in abundance to us. So that's when we talk about a real estate agency with a difference. We're not necessarily talking about a history as a buyer's agency service, which is all we used to do, working for investors. It's more of how we actually operate it. It's a real hard situation really to describe to people, but the people who are inside and see it, they just keep coming back and they want more. We've got people that are buying a lot of properties through us. We have people that are selling properties through us, and some that will buy and then they'll sell over here, something I've had for a long time, whatever it may be. We love the trusting, we love that word, and that's what I want to bring out to. I want to, if I had a wish, I'd change the real estate word that people use trust a little bit more. Doesn't happen too much at the moment, but it's heard a lot around here, which is really cool. Some people have no idea of how we operate. They go, are you a buyer's agency service or are you a vendor selling service? And I'll say we're both. And I'll tell you one story that best explains the whole business of how we work. Now, we will have no more than 5 people in our business at any one time who are buyers, one-on-one buyers agency clients, meaning we're working with them to find them what they're after. We know they're serious, and we know they know we're serious and want to help them. So we'll have that on. The rest of our business is we'll say purely a selling side of the business. Obviously, we have a lot of properties. We get brought probably 10 to 15 properties a week that we have access to that we can help people with. That's a real bonus for our one-on-one buyers. But the story that I'll tell you to just explain totally how Property Ventures works in about 2 minutes is a year and a half ago, had a property in Albany. It was a townhouse and one of 48. We got a tip off and I went around there, and a young Chinese couple owned this property, and they'd had it on the market privately on Trade Me for $469,000. Went around there, had a look, and says, "Rightio guys, this is how I see it." That's what we do here. We say it as we see it. And I says, "Right, I'd like to list this property for $429, and I'll get I'm pretty confident of getting a multi-offer for you." I said, "Or we have a chap, a Kiwi guy living in Hong Kong. He's to explain the one-on-one buyers agency service, how he paid us, not them. And I says, I can get a contract tonight for you for $399,000, no fees to you, contract tonight," and we go from there. And they said, "Okay, Mark, we'll take the second option, $399 versus $429 and paying us a fee." So I said, "Great, let's go." So I rang them up, we got hold of them that night, had a contract there next day, and under contract for $399, no fees to them, buyer's agency, guy in Hong Kong paying us. Excuse me. So what happened then, he had his DD, he actually got me to get a builder, which I don't like doing. When I've got a property for people, I like rather them have their own team through, but they got the builder I wanted. He trusted me to do that. The builder didn't write a very good report about the exterior, and cut a real long story relatively short. He pulled out of the deal. He says, "No, I'm not going to do it because the exterior is not that good." I said, "Mate, fair enough, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't do it either on the report that we've just got." So I went back to Mr. and Mrs. Chinese couple and told them the situation. I says, "Really, really sorry. You've got three choices now. You can carry on marketing it yourself. You can get another agent to come and list it for you. Or, hey, I know about the faults now, the good points with it. Give me 2 weeks and I'll sell it for you." And they said, "Okay, Mark, we'll trust you now. We'll do that the 2-week thing and you can sell it." So I got it a multi-offer and it sold for $427,000. Now, interesting story, but that story shows exactly how we work as a business. If you're a one-on-one client and we look at a property, we can negotiate the heck out of that. If we're working for the buyer, turn around with a vendor, we think we have some exceptional ways to get fantastic prices for a vendor. Because some people say, "Hell, Mark, how can you work for sometimes with a buyer and want to get cheap stuff, and how come can you get a top price for a vendor?" It's easy. I've told you the buyer side of it. For the vendor side of it, if people come to us, and whether it's a place in Epsom or excuse me, Manurewa or Remurewa, I don't really care. The same story applies, and it's true, and I and everyone in the company truly believe the story. And it's simple. If you want to list a property with us, we'll go out there and list it to the same media than the larger agencies will do, to the Trade Me's and the real estate, the Ho Gardens. Depending on the property, we won't necessarily do it to the local property press, but if it is the right property, we will. So we go to the same media, and then our massive unfair advantage is we have tens of thousands of investors that don't even know your place is on the market until we tell them. True story. And if we get what I call a normal home buyer versus an investor, by default we're going to get the best price, and then that's sort of how we work. A deal 2 weeks ago, Isidore down in Wellington, we got a multi-offer of 25 people. This is when the market's meant to be quiet. 25 people in a multi-offer. There was a $170,000 range of the prices on a $550,000 property. We did the hard work. We'll be that for you, the vendor. So that's a bit of a start and a bit about property ventures, what our point of difference is. As I said, it's not about the investment side, that is really different. It's about how we operate as a company with each other and with our clients. Our clients, they like it, I think, because we are really open and we say it as it is. Now, some people don't like what they hear to start off with. Quite often they come back for the reason that we have been totally honest. And that's a cool thing. It's a philosophy that I just demand has to happen within the property ventures, and I'm so fortunate to have a buy-in from all 14 people now that's involved in property ventures, which is really cool. That's what's happening. The New Zealand Property Podcast video series, it's here to stay. Yeah, we don't do it every week anymore because it's bloody hard work, but every 2 weeks now. We've been going for about 3 months again, I think, of doing that. Every 2 weeks there'll be a speaker on. We've had some pretty good guest speakers in the last 3 or 4 podcasts we have done, and that'll continue. I'm still after a big name sports person to get at the end of the year in December. We'll see what happens. I'm still gunning for that, and we want more people to know about this show. It's something that we put on for people, and it's relevant. It's what's going on there in the market. It's really good stuff. I surround myself by property people myself, and I meet some really intellects in the property circles, and so when I can grab them to talk to you people that are watching this now, that's fantastic for us, and for more importantly, fantastic for you. So that's what's happening there. Yes, I'd encourage everyone watching this, just go on and like our Property Ventures NZ Facebook page, Property Ventures NZ, because that's where we're just going to have, here's me saying about it, so of course I'm going to say it's good, but hopefully we're going to be some real gems on there in the upcoming weeks, days, months, years, just with little hints. And it might just be something that's going on in the office here where you see, you go, geez, these are only a small company, but they're doing some pretty special stuff. That's just starting right now, and I love you guys all to be on that journey, seeing us developing and what we're doing. I'm really passionate about what we do. I've had quite a bit of sickness in the last couple of years. I'm the fittest I've been for many years, and myself and the team are all starting to fire up. So come on the journey with us and have a wee look, and hopefully you'll be inspired and love what we do and want to be a part of what we do. So there we go. I've got no script. I've just said it as it is. Again, that's our philosophy. We say it as it is. If we like it, we tell you. If we don't like it, we tell you. And some people don't like that, but majority of people love it, and that's not going to change. So I really appreciate you for listening. That's pretty cool, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another podcast video. We'll be back in a couple of days on our Facebook page, and probably 3 times a week. And yeah, some of you will get sick of me and won't like it. That's fine. You don't have to watch it, or you can switch off if you really want to. Hopefully you'll be some little wee gems about how to cope with your property life, and different things that happen. And as I said, even just little tips of how I've learned to handle things. I've had some pretty big challenges in the last couple of years, massive challenges and changes. So I'm still here today, smiling and pretty happy with things. So come and join the ride, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. See you later.